The two Americas have disagreements over a wide range of topics. The result of the 2020 election, January 6th insurrection, guns, abortions, voting rights. Some say it's about the racial chasm.
Race remains a significant challenge in our country. Unfortunately, race still determines too much.
We have a situation where we have our inner cities, African Americans, Hispanics, are living in hell.
Some say it's about state versus federal.
So what we're now seeing with this overturning of Roe versus Wade and the anti-abortion and anti-choice efforts is again the same language of states' rights. Justice Samuel Alito alluded to sending this back to the states and the state legislatures to decide. But every time the United States has had a meaningful question about states' rights, it is ultimately served to ensure and enshrine white, supremacist, heterosexual, patriarchal harm and violence against everyone who is not white, heterosexual, male, and capitalist.
Or maybe it's about the deep-rooted American sense of a political identity and the rigid bipartisan system.
As the parties become much more different ideologically, demographically, you get locked in place by what's called negative partisanship. So the fear of the other side winning becomes big enough that you will accept anything your side does. So a majority of Donald Trump voters say they were actually voting against Hillary Clinton.
Moreover, evidence suggests that partisan polarization also influences people's use and trust of media sources, which in turn intensifies political divides.
In the old days, you had ABC, CBS, and NBC News, and that was it. And they were all carbon copies of each other. So it was an information common. Today, you can go to Breitbart, you can go to Talking Point, and more Americans are indeed occupying these information silos in which the Republicans are simply tuning into Fox and the Democrats are tuning into Rachel Maddow, and so on and so forth.
What is worse is that this political polarization has now spilled over, extending far beyond the political domain into people's everyday lives. And this division sees no compromise. It is either red or blue.
We now find that Republicans don't want their children to marry Democrats, and Democrats don't want their children to marry Republicans. That didn't used to be so. Starting in the 70s and 80s, religion became an important difference in American politics, and we start finding a difference between the parties in terms of religion and religious values. So abortion was important, gay rights was important, prayer in the schools was important. And with that new set of concerns, they were more than just about who gets the money. It was about values and about basic issues of what you think the world should look like. And those kinds of divisions, those are not issues that you sort of can go halfway. You can't say, well, let's go halfway on gay rights or let's go halfway on abortion. There's really sort of no middle ground.